Social anxiety stems from fear of being judged or evaluated by others, and many of us have that fear. Most of us are not clinically diagnosed. We call it simply being nervous. But it's especially prevalent when a big opportunity is on the line. Our career expert, Kim McNicholas, joins us this morning with a few tips on how to calm those nerves, especially in the clutch. So, Kim, how do you prevent worrying about what other people are thinking of you, especially when it comes down to a job interview?
I think it simply just comes down to practice. It's basically being able to, communicate who you are, what you know, what you do, and maybe what you want to do more effectively, and make it as almost as if it's muscle memory. It's purely habit. I mean, athletes do it, right?
Sure.
Athletes practice.
Right.
How would the 49ers have gotten to the playoffs, right? If they didn't practice. Right. So if you're going into a big job interview, scour the web, look for questions that are key to your industry. Guaranteed other people have been in your same position before, right?
Definitely.
Have your friends and family actually look at your resume and come up with questions. And then practice answering those questions in front of the mirror. If you can look yourself in the eye, then you can pretty much almost look anyone in the eye.
So practice, and it sounds like it's a little bit more than just a conversation, just trying to have a conversation with another person.
Well, surprisingly, even people get nervous and not, in just one-on-one everyday conversations. And that's not just about a fear of being evaluated or being judged. It's a fear of, what am I going to say next? We've all been there, done that, right? And so I have a little exercise that I do. I have something that you can just stick in your back pocket that you can use in any conversation. And it's a phrase. It's just speaking of. And how it works is, let's say someone says to me, well, yesterday I was out at the beach and I was walking my dog and it was just absolutely gorgeous outside. To which I would respond, well, actually, speaking of dogs, I have a Pomeranian.
Oh, I see.
And I love, playing with my Pomeranian. The only thing is, he takes a lot of grooming. Well, speaking of grooming, well, there's a new salon that just opened up around the street. I mean, there are different ways that you can do it, even in an interview situation. If you ask the employer or potential employer, well, what are you looking for in a potential employee? They say the right skill set, perseverance, determination. Well, speaking of determination, exactly. Well, what about you? What are you doing this afternoon?
I think I might watch that game that everybody seems to be talking about. Yeah, I think I'll be by the TV.
Well, speaking of the big game, actually, I am heading up to Winter Wineland up in Sonoma County, and 3 of the wineries are actually having big screens, so you can watch the big game while you're drinking wine. So
you're latching on to what that person says. I think it's also important that it shows that you're listening and paying attention.
It does, and having that follow-up will make it so that you will pay attention.
So what about if you're in a networking situation? Because I know a lot of people, myself included, feels really awkward in a situation like that where you're having to make chit-chat or small talk.
Right, well, the biggest issue that I feel that people have in terms of just getting nervous in networking situations or conversations is literally just having an agenda, going in and saying, well, I expect this to come out of it. If you go in with a relaxed attitude, you're less apt to feeling like you have to live up to some sort of standard. Let's say you're going, if you're lucky enough to go to a Democratic fundraiser, and you go in saying, I am going to meet President Obama, and you see that break in the clouds, and you have that opportunity to go give a handshake to President Obama. Well, you blow off his chief of staff in the meantime because you didn't realize that you were talking to him, and guess who schedules for President Obama?
Right. Okay, so go in with less of an agenda.
Right.
Is a big
and with the intention of just enjoying the moment, embrace the moment. You're more apt to making those connections and building those relationships with people.
I guess another way to say that would be to lower your expectations and something like that.
Right, just honestly embracing the moment.
Yeah. And if all that fails, you've had some great tips, but if all else fails?
The chocolate love potion.
Tell us about that. What does that do?
So I have a friend who's a breathing expert, and I just found out that he a breathing expert, but he also is a little bit more holistic, and he focuses on herbal remedies. And normally I'm really not into this whole voodoo holistic thing, but this actually works. So the chocolate love potion is geared towards people who have, of course, anxiety in the bedroom, but anxiety is anxiety, right? And so bedroom anxiety or social anxiety.
Yeah, or boardroom anxiety.
Boardroom anxiety or job interview anxiety. Basically, this is filled with amazing herbs and flowers, and of course, chocolate. A rare cacao bean from...
Can't go wrong there.
Right. It's uplifting of the mood, and has the revered blue lotus flower, which is all about, you know, increasing intuition, uplifting the mood, and holy basil, which is about, you know, centering and grounding yourself. So,
so a drop or two of that.
Just right on your tongue, and then breathe in deep, and maybe a placebo effect.
Yeah, but if nothing else, it tastes good and makes you feel comfortable.
Exactly.
And that might work. Kim McNicholas, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll be right back.